Welcome to this episode. As always, Luke's with me.
Hello.
If you can't tell by now what we're talking about, yeah, buckle up.
Buckle off.
So, Luke and I have been talking about this a little bit behind the scenes that he's never seen the original Gone in 60 Seconds from the 74 version of the film.
Nope. Know nothing about it.
I never saw it. And I actually attempted to watch. I attempted the first 5 minutes. And then I have to fully admit, I started skimming the movie and fast forwarding. Yeah. That was definitely one of those low budget 70 films. And the guy who wrote that gets story credit on the movie we're talking about.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yes. I got some additional inside baseball stuff for you about that too.
Cool.
In fact, in the show notes will be a link to a Donut Media episode from I forgot the Wheelhouse. Their channel, Donut Media's channel. Wheelhouse is the show. And they do a special video. It's about 25 minutes long, but it talks about the Eleanor Lawsuit.
Oh.
So, not to go too far into it right now, but I found just that story interesting, and I think anybody who enjoys our show will definitely enjoy that as well.
Yeah.
So I'll have the link in the show notes. But as far as similarities between the original and our 2000 neoclassic, I don't know.
Yeah.
Technically, it wasn't as successful as they wanted, but compared to the original, it was
Super successful.
Oh yeah.
So is the only thing that's similar is the fact that they stole cars?
They stole cars. It happened in Long Beach, and there was a Mustang that was codename, nickname, whatever you want to call it, Eleanor.
Oh. So the original they called it Eleanor too, then?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, that's cool.
And but it was a 1970s Mach 1 Mustang.
Oh.
Wasn't anything fancy. It wasn't.
That's not even anything special, really.
500. That.
Yeah.
Now, when you say Eleanor, immediately car guys will say, "Oh yeah, the 67," because it was, that thing was very laid out perfectly.
Right there.
I came across a meme that I almost used instead of this as my background, which said, "Memphis Reigns and Eleanor, still a better love story than Twilight."
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
So very, very close to using that, but I came across, let's roll.
Roll.
So let's get into it.
Lowrider, Donnie. Lowrider.
I love how we're starting on that scene because the young crew, which realistically, those guys not much older than us.
No, absolutely. When it came out, that was like,
it was almost like, what are they doing? What is this? And I don't know about you, but I love Lowrider.
Oh yeah. In fact, I won a contest on I think Z100 one time guessing who sings Lowrider. War. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, Lowrider is a great song. Yeah. I was surprising they wouldn't.
My road trip song playlist. I
Yeah.
can almost guarantee it. That, Highway Danger Zone,
Oh yeah.
Hotel California. So,
Classics.
but since I did punish myself by watching and reading about the original and this one, in the original, they were modern day cars that
Right.
clearly the writer, director, producer, the same guy, HB Hinkley or something, I don't know. I'm always horrible at pronouncing names, so I do apologize. Hackley played Mandarin Pace.
Oh.
Oh, it gets, like I said, the concept of the story is how he got story credit for this one.
Right. That's kind of what I figured. It was just kind of concept, and that was about it.
Yeah. And it was actually his wife who entered into that agreement.
Oh.
Because, okay, I got to just share this so it makes a little more sense. So, as you see here, it says third in the original Gone in 60 Second trilogy, but Deadline Auto Theft was the second, and he was in production of Gone in 60 Seconds 2 when a stunt went awry and he died.
Oh.
Something about it.
Technically, this is the third movie.
Technically, our movie is the fourth
Oh wow.
because it is he never finished Gone in 60 Seconds 2.
Okay.
He was trying to film that in 1989. Some kind of stunt involving a telephone pole, and the rigging went off too soon, fell over, and crushed him and killed him instantly.
Okay, him, the guy, the writer guy. Oh wow.
Star, director, writer, producer.
Everything. Oh yeah.
So without him, no movie.
Movie's over, guys.
Yeah. So
Jeez.
technically, there's Gone in 60 Seconds, and then there's the almost GTA like title, Deadland Auto Theft.
Right.
Which is all three. He's playing Mandarin Pace.
Huh.
And he's an insurance agent by day, car thief by night.
Really?
So what he does is he buys all these wrecked cars, pulls all the VIN info off of each one, and then goes out and steals the identical car.
Yeah.
And revins it.
Revins it. Oh. Huh.
So that was his whole auto scheme. In the original, it was 48 cars. So similarity.
Right.
Each car had a female name attached to it.
Yeah.
And the Mustang, number 48, number 50, whatever you want to call it, was named Eleanor. So based on that, in his original version, he literally bought these cars from police auctions and stuff.
Oh.
Spent an average of $200 per car. So the big tagline in the original poster of Gone in 60 Seconds was over 300 car crashes. And yeah, there was a lot of car crashes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Now, one alternative scene they almost did for the new Nick Cage version,
yeah,
was when he goes to steal Eleanor.
Yeah.
In one script version, he was going to wear a disguise where he looked older and steal Eleanor in disguise.
Oh.
Which is similar to how in the original Gone in 60 Seconds, he stole the yellow Mach 1, and he gives the cops a chase, and he is just rubbing all over the place.
Yeah.
The front fender is like totally smashed in. Yeah, it was a wreck. And then last second, he has about a good block and a half on the cops.
Yeah.
He sees almost the identical Mach 1 going into a car wash.
Oh.
So he pulls in, says, just wash mine. All his plates on the car are attached by magnets. So he pops his plates off and gets to the front of the car wash and catches the gal as she's about to get in and says, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, I'm the manager. Let me, we need to rewash your car. So he kind of gets her to go back to the front. And ironically, the manager actually looked very similar to his disguise as older.
Yeah.
And he gets it, plops the new plates on, takes his disguise off, and he drives off. Here comes the cops and sees the manager right next to the nearly wrecked car.
Right.
And that's how he gets away.
Oh, wow.
So, and there was a jump very similar. Well, I shouldn't say similar, but there was a jump scene in Long Beach, and they did use the same bridge.
Huh. So
beyond that, 48 cars versus the 50.
Right.
So as I said, he died in 89. His widow started to try to finish Gone in 60 Seconds too.
Oh, wow.
Trying to finish it because she was the lead bad guy in the movie. Yeah. So she then enters into a licensing agreement with Touchstone Pictures with Bruckheimer.
Sure.
And that's how we have the modern day, much easier on the senses.
Yeah.
Version of the movie.
Well, I know when it came out, I had no idea that it was a remake or a spin-off of the original. I had no idea at all. Yeah, and it wasn't until like years later that I even heard that. So
yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat in this case. I didn't realize it was a remake. And until 4 hours ago, I never saw a single scene of the original.
Well, I still haven't, so I think I'm gonna keep it that way.
If anybody wants to, it is currently available for free with ads on the Vudu app.
Oh.
So and yeah. Sorry, I think somebody needed to pay me to watch it. It was 70s bad and not completely in a good way.
All right.
So, in this one, we have Memphis Reigns and his little brother. Yeah. Memphis is a retired car thief. He's getting pulled back in to basically save his brother's neck from.
Yeah, it's like the only thing that could pull him back. He was done. His family. Yeah.
Yeah. It's they put it in Beauty and the Beast, a tale.
Tale as old as time.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, even like Sway and some of the other ones, they came back too because it was a family thing. It was like, I'm not here. I'm here to help.
Right.
Yeah.
So we bring in the old school meets new school. And they go old school, planning just an all-out blitz heist.
Nice.
You know, they scouted out all 50 cars, knew where they were going to be, and then one night, boom.
Yeah.
Now, I think the casting on this was pretty superb.
Oh, I thought it was just excellent. I mean, even down to the cops and stuff. I mean, that relationship between Memphis and the well, I'm drawing a blank on his name now. The main cop is
Delroy Lindo.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was that back and forth, and the whole thing was, you know, that respect for each other too was so well done in it, you know. So
Oh, yeah. Now I digging into this a little bit, I did go down a couple rabbit holes. Obviously, two of our mains went on to a very successful TV show on CBS. Do you know what show I'm referring to?
yes, it is Hawaii Five-0.
Correct.
Scott Conn, and who's the other one?
Chai.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And somebody else from this movie had a guest role. Just one episode, so it's okay if you forgot.
I haven't watched Hawaii Five-0, so I'm not sure.
It was James Duval.
Who's that? Which kid?
Remember the kid who got all excited when the dog finally passed the key?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's who that is. Okay.
Yeah. He's gone on and had a fairly successful career since this.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of not mainstream
Sure.
stuff, you know, some made for TV, cable kind of stuff.
Well,
now,
this for Nick Cage, this is back on his prime time, and he was like,
during the Nick Cage Renaissance.
Yeah.
You know, we're just coming off of really, we had Con Air, we had The Rock, Face Off.
Yep. National Treasure is after this, though, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Nick was at the top of his game.
Yeah.
I would argue that it was The Sorcerer's Apprentice where he stopped really being in the mainstream and
now he does all sorts of movies that you've never heard of.
Yeah. And that's by choice.
Yeah, it is by choice.
Because he's doing stuff that he finds interesting versus people like, say, Steven Seagal, who still puts out the occasional straight to DVD streaming movie because that's all that anybody will actually do for him at this point.
Yeah.
So, in fact, if we ever get an Expendables 4, I really hope Steven Seagal is still not part of it. Sorry.
I actually heard just the other day
Expendables 4 in pre-production. Yeah,
that's what I heard, that Stallone's got some new ring and they're doing it. So
I think I read the exact same article and I didn't get far beyond the headline on that.
I didn't either.
Okay.
Yeah, like, well, I hope that's true because I actually dig those Expendables movies. I've enjoyed all of them. So
I think the third one is, I think if I had to put them in categories of best, okay, least, it's 2, 1, 3.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. Yeah.
3 had potential, but it just felt a little too rushed.
Like they tried.
It just felt a little too, okay, we're going to try this and see where it goes. And the story wasn't that flushed. Where 2, it really was a good act story, and it was well thought out, and so
Yeah, I agree with you.
but I wouldn't mind seeing, say, Nick Cage have a role in Expendables.
Yeah, that's the one thing I do like is how they bring in different like, you know, old action stars into the. I like the whole idea behind it, bringing all these beloved action stars from the 80s and 90s back together, and then bringing new ones into it too. So
I read somewhere that they were thinking about bringing in some of the B action movie people of the 80s and 90s. You know,
and I mean, like, kind of like this Gone in 60 Seconds, they brought all these different actors together, and it worked really well.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, Robert Duvall, who's just one of the best. I mean, you know, for me, this is one of the first movies I saw with Angelina Jolie in it. I didn't know who that she really was until I saw this movie. Just 'cause I hadn't seen any of her movies before. And then you got like guys like Scott Conn, who everybody just saw in Varsity Blues and stuff. And so people, you know, younger people recognized him. It was just good. And I think how they brought the cast together.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the first Angelina Jolie movie I really know her from. And I would say Hackers probably close to one of the first ones.
I don't think I've ever seen Hackers. I haven't seen that.
It didn't hold up as well as I was hoping. Yeah. That's for another podcast. But yeah.
Go ahead.
So one of the things I love about this movie was JT Walsh's character, Mirror Man.
Yeah.
Where especially when he does the let me see your big paws, as you call a hand.
Yeah.
And he puts on the Elvis fingerprints.
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, I thought so. I like how they brought some of that new tech to like some of these old school. Like,
yeah, it was a little almost James Bond-ish.
Yeah, totally.
But another great scene with him was when he was trying to get the Volvo out of the impound. If you look closely in the background, there is a sign that says, if you do not lock your car up, it will be gone in 60 seconds.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I never caught that. That's cool.
I honestly didn't catch it. It was only because of my rabbit hole diving that I found it. And that was actually a sign that was in the original Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
Easter egg there.
Nice little Easter egg. So the next time you actually go back and watch, I'm sure you're actually going to get past the Barbie dance.
Yeah.
And be able to see that song. He's a freak. Yeah. Now, one thing going into the rabbit hole, especially with our conversation last time, how did you feel about Angelina Jolie as Nick Cage's love interest?
I thought it was good. Just like I said, I had never seen her in anything else.
How about she's only 14 months older than Scott Conn?
Oh, really? See, like in there, I didn't know how old she was, and so, you know.
Yeah, this time I didn't go back and look at the math. When I saw that, looking at some of those scenes, she does kind of look a little too young.
Yeah, I could see it. Now that you say it, I mean, like, you think about it, like, yeah, I could see that. You know.
Because I'm trying to remember if this was before or right in between the two Tomb Raider movies.
Yeah, I've never seen those either.
Yeah. I haven't even seen the new one either.
Yeah, I haven't either. So
mainly because of how bad these ones. I will say, I think she looked a lot like what
Like,
a real
yeah.
Laura Croft was supposed to look like, but I think the story that they put out.
So I never saw him. I heard the story wasn't very good, and I was just like, yeah, I don't need to waste my time. So
Now, another little rabbit hole I went down is I actually looked at the cars, and they were really hoping for one of the cars to be one of my all-time favorite supercars. Are you familiar with the McLaren F1?
yes,
They were trying so hard, but couldn't get anyone to
let him use it.
own their F1.
Yeah, because you're not just gonna find a McLaren out there like that.
No.
Uh,
So,
that you just go, oh, we're gonna borrow this. I don't think so.
so as a result, it got replaced by a Jaguar.
Oh, so I guess that was something I've always been curious is, did they rent most of these cars from guys that owned them, or I mean, how did they got some pretty dang nice cars. You're not just gonna go buy them for the movie or something, you know.
No, the only car they really bought was the Eleanor.
No, sure.
They had 7 in total made.
Okay, I was like, they had to have multiple ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
They essentially wrecked 5 of them. Nick Cage has 1 of them.
Oh,
He still drives pretty frequently.
well, that's cool.
And Jerry Bruckheimer has 1. And
That's
he never drives it because he's afraid of it.
cool. That's cool.
The ones Nick Cage and Jerry got are the real deal, revved up.
Yeah.
The kind of car
More horsepower than you ever need, and freaking dangerous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
But there was only one real numbers matching GT on set. And
really
at the very end,
uh-huh,
where if it was a removable part, they removed it and put a rusty, cruddy part on instead.
Oh,
so the Eleanor gift at the end,
right, gift, yeah,
was actually a real GT.
Oh, nice.
So now, how did you feel about our bad guy, Kalitri?
I liked it. I thought he was good with the accent, and I liked the fact that he was like the woodworker and stuff. It just kind of made him more creepy. Yeah,
I would agree. Christopher Elliston's had a fairly interesting
well,
comment about it. Sorry, I got like 9 different things. So he actually spoke with his natural Lancashire accent in the film.
yeah,
He noted that in American films, the English accent was either posh or Cockney. So that was his actual real accent.
well, that's cool.
And before, obviously, he did this before he did the 1 season of Doctor Who.
Yeah, well, and I think he was also in that movie about vampires. I think he was the father in Twilight.
No, he was not.
That's not the same guy? Oh, okay. I thought that was the guy.
No,
No, I'm talking about the vampire dad.
I know.
Oh, okay. That's not the same guy.
Remember Jenny Garth from Beverly Hills 90210?
Yeah.
That's her husband.
Oh.
Also, interestingly, Christopher did not have his driver's license during the shoot.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he does drive, does he?
He never drives.
Yeah, I didn't
Actually,
think so.
several years later when he finally got it. So
I wonder why he didn't have his driver's license for that. I mean, because he was not. It's not like he was some young kid or something, you know.
So interestingly, when we first meet Otto,
Yeah.
Memphis is speaking with him in his shop, and then they start listening to revved up engines. If you look in the window, there is a woodpecker decal on the window.
Yeah.
It is the same woodpecker decal that Nick Cage has as a tattoo in the movie Raising Arizona.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, now that woodpecker is also, I see it a lot when I was helping race sprint cars. There's a lot of guys that had that woodpecker decal on their sprint cars and stuff.
Yeah.
I assumed it was just something to do with racing too, but
I honestly don't have any details about that.
I'm gonna just take it
But
quickly.
here's something kind of cool that ties in well with our conversation last time about females in movies.
Yeah,
Do you remember the original trailer for this movie?
I don't. I'm gonna interrupt you real quick. So that woodpecker is part of Clay Smith Engineering and Clay Smith like cam parts and stuff. So it is a racing thing as
Okay,
well.
cool. I guess it's been years since I've seen Raising Arizona, so I could kind of see Nick Cage's character being into it.
Yeah.
So this was one of the first major feature films to employ a female trailer voice.
Really?
Yeah.
It wasn't the In a World.
No.
That, huh. I don't remember it. So
It was Melissa Disney who did the Gone in 60 Seconds trailer.
That's interesting.
So let me see. Tell me if you can hear this.
Time it took you to buy your ticket. 0.2 minutes. Time it took you to get your popcorn.
Oh yeah, I can hear that.
5 minutes. It took them. Let's go. To steal your car.
I do remember that now.
60 seconds.
Let's go. Come on, Swigert, work your magic. I know you will do what I think you'll do.
Yeah, they got the ticking the stopwatch going with it.
What's that?
The stopwatch ticking too.
Yeah.
You know, like yeah. I remember that now. The female voice doing that.
So compared to Days of Thunder, we've come quite a bit ahead.
Yeah.
Now, I have no confirmation, but I'm going to say she's not related to the Disney family.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Just a similar last name.
Yeah.
So now, remember the scene where they're stealing the Hummer truck?
Yeah.
And the cop car falls off the ramp?
Yeah.
That would be one of those happy accidents.
Oh, really?
It wasn't meant to happen that way. But Jones bumped the stunt car of the cops a little too much and it fell off the ramp.
It was like, oh, that was cool. Leave it in.
Exactly. So that was kind of fun finding out about.
That's cool.
So, and
Well, I
then
know when I watched the movie originally, like the name Memphis Reigns, I thought that name Memphis was so cool. The first dog I ever owned, I named him Memphis. I bought him in college, and I was just like, I couldn't think of a name. I was like, I like that name. Memphis is cool, and that was my first dog's name. His name is Memphis. So,
what kind of breed?
he was Rottweiler, German Shepherd, and we think possibly Mastiff. He was a huge dog.
Yeah, Memphis sounds about right.
I got him from the Missoula Humane Society.
Nice.
So,
Pull my note back up here. So that was Charlene Bloom, who spots Toby, who's played by Lee Scott.
Yeah.
And she's now married to Tumblr Scott Can. They married in 2002, so obviously they were dating for about 2 years.
Huh.
Now, do you feel like this was a throwback kind of film to some of the car movies of the 70s?
I think so. I mean, it felt like they were trying to like pay homage to some of them, I would say. Especially like I thought it was cool when they were doing the scouting and they're doing like the guessing game and stuff, and they're guessing some of those old cars too.
Oh yeah.
That was way cool.
Well, Nick Cage actually said the film has kind of a glorified 70s B movie aura to it.
Yeah.
Because I love that show.
I got 3 words for all of y'all.
Nice impression.
This is some kitty shit, man.
PI's license plate. Robin 1.
Hey, 10 points for our fearless leaders. Sway, how about giving us the honor to build?
So Delroy Lindo tried to stay in his character so much that he actually wore his gun and police gear even when it wasn't needed for the shot.
Oh, jeez.
Courtship of Eddie's father. He walked.
You hear about that though. In some movies, some guys try to, like, they will not break character even when they're like offset and stuff. It kind of.
Oh, here's kind of a cool little thing. Detective Roland Castlebeck, Delroy Lindo's character, was modeled after Charles Durining's character in The Sting, which, if I'm not mistaken, stars Paul Newman, who we spoke about last time too.
Yeah, Paul Newman, Robert Redford.
So I thought that was kind of fun.
He almost had that John Shaft kind of, vibe a little bit too, like I'll do what I want sort of thing. And
so here's kind of a stretch on the 6 degrees of separation.
Sure.
Can you tell me what movie Robert Duvall starred in that featured family members either in front or behind the screen for 2 other actors in the Gone in 60 movie or Gone in 60 Second movie?
One movie, The Godfather,
Yes.
because Scott Caan's dad is James Caan, I believe.
Correct. And it
Yeah.
was directed by
Sonny, and that's it's not Scorsese. Oh my God,
Francis Ford Coppola,
Ford Coppola. Thank you, Francis Ford Coppola.
uncle to Nicholas Coppola, better known as Nicolas Cage.
Oh, okay. I thought we were also gonna go. I thought maybe it was. I thought we were gonna run over to what the hell movie is that? Apocalypse Now. There's so many people in that. I thought maybe that was part of.
It could have been, but no. It was
That's cool.
Godfather, because as you pointed out, James is in it, and it was directed by Nick's uncle.
Uncle. Yeah, that's cool.
Now, I have 2 conflicting things. I got 7 on one page saying they had 7 Eleanors, but another says Cinema Vehicle Services produced 12 Eleanors,
Well, I never heard 12. I'd also heard 7 somewhere.
but none were actually Shelby Mustangs, but converted standard 67 Mustang fastbacks.
So they say
7 survived the filming in various states of repair. A 13th Eleanor based on the real 67 Shelby was prepared by Cinema Vehicle Services for Bruckheimer, but that car did not appear in the movie. So I'm kind of thinking maybe they had a 12 in total.
Well, it depends on how you count them too, because like I was watching the thing on Back to the Future, and they were counting cars that were it was just a front seat that Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd sat in. They had cameras on and stuff that was just they counted that as a car. So I'm like, there's certain things they could have built for as a car. They're counting it, and
Right.
even though car. So that's why I'm curious if they counted it that way, but so that could be correct. It could be 7 full functional cars, and there could have been 4 more, 4 or 5 more of these like partial cars for filming and doing certain things, and being able to shoot it over this big jump behind me, things like that.
And I like how they did that scene. It obviously they did some CGI work there,
Right.
but between the practical and the CGI, it was just the exact kind of jump you wanted to see.
Well, it felt a little more realistic than the bus jumping speed. That bus just goes it's up. At least he had a ramp to jump off of, and this one kind of, it's like,
right.
So
now here's a piece that you may not actually know.
Okay.
It's somewhat related and somewhat not. Do you know who Timothy Oliphant is?
Timothy Oliphant. I know that name. I'm drawing a blank right now.
He was the junior detective.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. Because he's in a lot of different stuff. Yeah, he's in
He was in Justified.
Justified. It wasn't he in Deadwood too?
I think so.
Yeah.
Justified and Lindo were in Get Shorty, which are both based off of Eleanor Leonard's books. But the key here that I want to kind of throw at you, and it'll kind of blow your mind, because he was offered one of the central characters in a little 2001 film, and he declined to do it because he felt it was too similar to this movie. Can you guess what car movie I'm referring to?
Fast and the Furious. And that's the only other thing I could think of that came out about the same time.
Yes.
Which character was he supposed to play in that?
You tell me first.
The Paul Walker character?
You think he's Brian?
What? The only because of the age, he was kind of younger.
Well, they were both younger back then, so
yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna say that the Brian character.
Dom.
No, God, thank God they didn't do that.
When he declined, it was immediately offered to Vin, and he's written that book 9 times.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the 9's out now. Yeah,
9's out. We have at least 2 more coming in the future.
Holy cow! They're just beating numbers to death, aren't they?
Well, they said they're going to end it on 11, but that doesn't necessarily mean they won't have spin-offs.
Like Hobbs and Shaw. Yeah.
There's talk about the ladies having their own spin-off adventure.
I have only seen a couple of those, actually.
If
I get them confused. Like, I'll be like, which one is this one? And oh yeah, I've seen that one. Is it? Yeah. So.
Well, with the whole Fast movies, each one's trying to outdo the previous one.
Right. Yeah.
So without giving away spoilers from Fast 9, which I have not officially watched, but I did listen to a 2-hour podcast about. It almost feels like they were jumping the shark with this one in some regards.
I'll have to watch it. They're good. I mean, I like them when I do watch them. It's just like
you got to definitely watch Hobbs and Shaw. It is hilarious.
I'll have to check that out. I'm a big rock fan. Well, obviously, I went and saw Jungle Book last night, and that was awesome. Enjoyed the hell out of that.
So now, this movie also has some pedigree. We have 3 Oscar winners in it. Do you know who?
Robert Duvall.
1.
Nick Cage.
That's 2.
He won it for Leaving Las Vegas. And I don't know who the other one is.
Angelina.
You won it?
Yeah,
What's she win an Oscar for? Was it Gia?
it could be.
I think that's what it was for. Yeah, that's pretty good.
No, 1999's Girl Interrupted.
Oh, Girl Interrupted. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
She also was a nominee in 2009 for The Changeling. She was a nominee for the Primetime Emmy for Gia back in 98.
Right.
And George Wallace in 97.
Huh.
And yeah, she has a long list of nominees and winners. So check out her IMDb page.
I'll have to
If you
do
get
that.
a chance. So overall, this is definitely one of my favorite car movies.
Well, it's just fun. It's a fun movie, you know, and I don't know. It was different than, I guess it's different than what I expected. I remember when I went and saw it in the theater, I was just like, well, that was really cool. I guess I didn't know what to expect, and it kind of blew me away when I saw it. And then, you know, the soundtrack too, and it's excellent. The whole thing I thought was just really well done. So,
Well, I might as well throw out a little tease more about that Eleanor lawsuit.
yeah.
So it all comes down to copyright law.
Huh.
So she actually copyrighted the character of Eleanor as part of the estate for her late husband.
Really?
Yes. So I don't know how many Mustangs have been seized, but B is for Building's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
They had this cool concept of taking I think what they were attempting to do was taking a 66, 67 Mustang body and putting it on a modern day Mustang chassis.
Yeah.
And they just happen to call their car Eleanor, which then opened the door for a lawsuit, because even though this Eleanor had nothing to do with either Eleanor's in the original Gone in
Right.
Seconds or the one behind you,
Right.
it was copyrighted as a character, and the character is just a generic Mustang. And as a result, they lost the lawsuit and had to forfeit the car in progress.
Oh my gosh.
And
That's
I'm sure you know who Chip Foose is.
yeah.
He did a similar thing where he took a old Mustang and, you know, he widened the body just a little bit to better accommodate the modern chassis, but he never called it Eleanor. So his project was untouched.
Yeah. That's what I was like. Couldn't they just change the damn name? And then
Well,
be
if
done?
they would have done that before they started making the video series,
Yeah.
it would have been fine. But because they called it their Eleanor,
Yeah.
it triggered the copyright.
Yeah.
You know what the current copyright law when it expires?
Uh-uh.
It's something like 90 years.
Oh my gosh.
Now, when it was originally written, it was only something like 27 years.
Right.
Because
Wow.
of the average lifespan.
Right.
But don't be surprised that if in the next year or so, all of a sudden you hear that the copyright laws have been extended again. Because you know who owns the oldest copyright in existence right now?
Let me guess here. Hang on. Coca-Cola.
Nope.
Okay, hang on. It's got to be something really old.
Copyright, not trademark.
Oh, I don't know then.
Well, they technically own the studio that made our movie.
Universal?
No, this was Touchstone.
Touchstone, right. I don't know.
Part of the
Disney?
Buena Vista movie studio, which is part of a little studio called Disney.
Disney, yeah.
Oh, Willie.
That is correct. If you couldn't hear my wife in the background,
Oh, really?
she is correct. Steamboat Willie. They are protecting Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. The ears, man.
So as a result, don't be surprised if it gets extended again. But like I said, I will share the link to this episode because it really goes into a lot of detail. Have you ever watched the show on Netflix, the From Rust to Riches? It's about the Gotham Garage crew.
Sounds cool though.
Gotham Garage's plan is they buy a junker, they fix it up, they either sell or trade it up for a bigger price car. So let's say they get
I'd watch that.
a Dart.
Yeah.
Fix it up. They can now trade that up to a Barracuda, and then they can trade that Barracuda to the next guy for
Right. They just keep trying to upgrade and
trading
upgrade.
it up for the bigger prizes. Currently, there's 2 seasons on Netflix, but the reason the
that's cool.
garage is called Gotham Garage, he was making bank for a lot of years making the Batmobile replica.
I was just gonna say, making Batmobiles or something. That's cool.
He actually had the a copy mold from Barris, so he was making an authentic classic 66 Batman replica car.
That's way cool.
And he really wanted to start selling off the version of the 89 Tim Burton Batmobile.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. That's awesome.
And he started doing that, and DC got wind, and they said it was a copyright infringement because the 89 Batmobile was not based off of another concept car. The 66 was the Lincoln Futura.
Yeah. This is a totally new concept of
Pop quiz. Do you know how much Chuck Barris bought that Futura from Ford for?
No idea. $1?
$1.
Oh my gosh.
And then, yeah, you added a few little things here and there, and all of a sudden we got a Batmobile. So, yeah, because the 89 Batmobile wasn't based off of any existing car.
Right.
It was a character. That character's copyrighted.
Yeah.
So
like the old joke Carrie Fisher used to say, anytime she hears Princess Leia or says that, she owes George Lucas $1.
Speaking of Carrie, just because that just made me think of the scene. Do the AFI's tribute to George Lucas Carrie Fisher speech. Find it on YouTube. It is worth listening to.
Cool.
It is very similar to that line throughout the whole.
Yeah.
I think she goes on for a good 80 minutes.
I think I've seen that before. But yeah, if it's what I'm thinking, it's really good.
So definitely check out that. Check out the link to the Donut Media and now watch this movie.
It's good.
what else you got to do in a minute?
Right.
Yeah. And we'll see you in a couple weeks.